Scott Rosania, I'm Senior Director of Patient Support Services at a Fortune 500 biopharmaceutical company. We help to remove the barriers that prevent patients from starting and staying on therapy. With all communication, it's a two-way street. And I think if you are questioning yourself, if you don't have a true sense of your strengths and weaknesses, you're never going to be able to convey your message effectively to your audience, no matter how well you know your audience. I think you have to structure your message, your communication, whether it's a slideshow, whether it's verbal, whether however you're presenting your message. You have to structure it in a way that is true to you. If you like to tell jokes, make sure you put some humor in there. If you are very serious, well, stick to being serious. But know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and then make sure that the content is relevant for your audience. Just as I have to sell the narrative up, I also have to sell the narrative down to make sure that I'm gaining buy-in from the team that's going to support all of the great initiatives that we want to accomplish. But I have to tailor the message to resonate with whether it's a direct report, whether it's a peer, or whether it's a superior. And I have to ensure that my objective is coming through clearly when I'm presenting to all levels within the organization. There's a phrase I like: you can't make bricks without clay. I think in this sense, the data are everything. If I can have a glorious tagline, and I can have beautiful slides, and I can be super energetic, and I can tell jokes that everybody's laughing about, and we're firing on all cylinders, and then they'll ask, okay, prove it to me, or show me the data that back this up. In our organization, data it reigns supreme as far as knowing what data to present and how. I guess the caution there too is you can't go data heavy. So you have to have the right balance of data, say it in a way that resonates, but make sure that your audience knows that you've done your research, you've done your diligence, you've collected the data, and you have to present it in a way that actually resonates with your audience. You can pick out quite quickly who is effective at communicating, and what I always tell people is pick up one thing that you liked about the way that presentation went, and make sure that you try to incorporate that in the next time you have to do it. And so it becomes a very iterative process on attending presentations and communicating with other people, picking up what goes well and what doesn't go well. That's another critical part, right? Avoid the pitfalls that others fell into before you, and put that in your toolkit so that when you come out to do your next presentation, or if you're having a one-on-one with a senior leader or a one-on-one with your direct report, you can pick up on the one or two things that you saw work well, or the one or two things that you wanted to make sure you avoided, like the plague, in that next communication, in that next iteration. Aside from the knowing who your audience is, it's knowing what's going to be relevant and actually what's going to help drive their narrative forward. So you have to frame that message in a way that's going to take what you're excited about and make sure that you can get them excited about. You have to make it relevant for them, so that it resonates and you're able to strike a chord with them such that they can say, oh, you know what, that'll actually help with my objective. So I think the short answer to your question is taking your objective and framing it in a way that aligns with your audience's objective. So I think one of the key challenges we face is bandwidth. There are 16 of us, and we're trying to run 5 different programs, and the team is not always focused on, hey, how do I make sure that next time I'm in front of this individual, I just kill it with a presentation, or next time I have to do this, that it can fall down on your list of priorities because of all the other things you have to do just to keep the lights on. And finding tools that allow you to be more efficient with everything that you have to do is so critical in order for us to get our message across. I mean, it was a hodgepodge, mostly PowerPoint, and in fairness, right, it was mostly things that came before, right, and it would just be, send me the deck that you used last week. I want to use one of those visuals, and in fairness, the visuals weren't great, and it was a lot of stumbling through your typical PowerPoint decks in order to try to kind of hodgepodge something together that would tell your story. Unsurprisingly, your sales pitch was presented phenomenally. It just seemed to make so much sense. We were at a time when we were creating a lot of presentations and decks for leadership in order to get our business cases approved, and everybody was creating slide decks, or all of my leads were. And when Present offered this as an opportunity, the robustness of the tool combined with the affordable price tag made it a no-brainer.